Go.
Langston Hughes was an American novelist, social activist, playwright, and columnist. He was one of the earliest innovators of the then new literary art form called jazz poetry, and today he is still being recognized for his greatest accomplishments and achievements.
Langston Hughes was born on February 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. His birth name was James Mercer Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was an African-American poet. He was a poet during the Harlem Renaissance when segregation was going on. Langston Hughes was raised by his grandmother until the age of 13. His mother remarried and moved, and his father moved to Mexico, but he did not let that stop him. Sometimes kids of today, when they're living with their grandmothers and grandfathers, they let their past and struggles stop them from being successful. But unlike Langston Hughes, he didn't. Even though he had many critics, blacks and whites, he did not let that get to him. He had a lot of poems. Two poems that caught my eye was The Weary Blues and The Negro Speaks of Rivers. In those poems, he talked about the struggles in his hard times, but he did not let that stop him from becoming a successful African-American poet.
Droning a drowsy syncopated tune, rocking back and forth to a mellow croon, I heard a Negro play down on Lenox Avenue the other night. By the pale, dull pallor of an old gaslight, he did a lazy sway, to the tune of those weary blues. With his ebony hands on each ivory key, he made that poor piano moan with melody. Oh, blues, swaying to and fro on his rickety stool, he played that sad, raggy tune like a musical fool. Sweet blues comin' from a black man's soul. Oh, blues in a deep song voice with a melancholy tone. I heard that Negro sing, that old piano moan. Ain't got nobody in all this world, ain't got nobody but myself. I's gwine to quit my frownin' and put my troubles on the shelf. Thump, 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 went his foot on the floor. He played a few chords, then he sang some more. I got the weary blues, and I can't be satisfied. Got the weary blues, and can't be satisfied. I ain't happy no more, and I wish that I had died. And far into the night he crooned that tune. The stars went out, and so did the moon. The singer stopped playing and went to bed, while the weary blues echoed through his head. He slept like a rock or a man that's dead.
Here is one of Langston Hughes' famous poems, The Negro Speaks of Rivers.
I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers.
In The Weird Blues, Langston Hughes was singing a song about having nobody but himself. He said he was going to put his frown aside and put his troubles on his shelf, meaning he was not going to let that stop him from being successful. The Weird Blues was written during segregation. He stated, with his heavenly hands on each ivory key, he made that poor piano moan. He was signifying the blacks and the whites during segregation, and that was the theme during the Harlem Renaissance. In The Negro Speaks of Rivers, Langston Hughes is accepting his history. He is realizing that his father didn't feel the same way as he did about African Americans. When Langston Hughes is talking about the Nile and the Congo, he is giving honor to his African heritage. Langston Hughes interpreted many issues that were going on in his life and African American lives. Although he had many critics, he did not let that stop him. He became the voice of African Americans. He gave African Americans a voice, and he encouraged them to overcome racism in America.